Hello, hello. Welcome everybody. I'm Quack Baby. I'm a hardcore Minecraft streamer. We recently got to 1500 days, and we had some people asking for like an official world tour. I must deliver, I suppose. I mean, what you see behind me is like the accumulation of around, I want to say, 7 months ever since I started streaming about 7 months ago on this world here. Well, I think to begin with, I'm just going to do like a quick montage of all the main builds in the world. And for those of you who just want to see a quick overview of everything that we've done, that'll be for you guys. And then after that, I'll come back and give like a detailed explanation and like a more close-up look at every build that we've done. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, well, welcome back, those of you who stuck around for the longer explanation part. Currently, we are in my attic. Not for any weird reasons, of course. Uh, Up in this building here, this little blue thing. And the reason that we are here is because this is where the world began. This was the first build on this world. This is my house, my one and only house that does not really fit into the theme of the world anymore. And I can't bring myself to get rid of it. It's like it's like a Victorian style townhouse in a medieval world. Now that's okay, you know. I mean, if it was like a modern house, I'd say we really have to get rid of it, but it is what it is. So yeah, you saw the attic, the bedroom. I don't really get to sleep in here anymore because it's kind of been taken over by villagers. So I don't. They've also spawned golems in my house, which is kind of rude. But moving on down to my basement. This was the original XP farm on the world. It was a double spider spawner. And now I'm not looking to the right because if I do, it's going to reveal something. See, this is just a normal double spider spawner, which later got converted into my mob farm. This is a giant... We'll get a better look at this from a different view, but I kind of just liked how this lined up with this area. And I had like the opportunity to have a glance into there. But yeah, this is still my only enchantment setup on the world so far, even after all this time. Alright, and moving out into the world. I'll probably do these builds in like a chronological order, I think. Is going to be the easiest way to go about doing this. moving on is our chest room. This is a very controversial thing. Alright, this chest room has caused me many problems on this world. The amount of item frames alone will lag. I had to buy a whole new GPU just to be able to look in this direction without lagging. I mean, it's a very nice chest room. We also have our to-do list here. These are all things that that I'd like to get done at some point if we never die. If you want to look at all those, you can go ahead and pause. I don't even know if you could read them, but there you go. Just a pretty standard item frame chest room. I'd like to build a new one at some point, but this gets the job done for now. After that, I decided to take on quite a big project here. This is our shopping area. Even though I don't have many actual villagers in here. This is kind of where I got the idea for the world, though. That I wanted it to be like a full-on city. Because when I first started, I had really no plan for this place. This place is like a little candle shop. It even has a bee farm in the roof. But yeah, as you can see, like this whole area, I would say, is on the lower end of our builds. Like this was, I think, towards the end, maybe the last one that we worked on, and this was one of the first ones that we worked on. It actually was the first one that we worked on. So, and then slowly as you go through it, I was kind of learning off of each one and building up. One of these guys is Corner Boy. Corner Boy loved to stand in a corner, and we decided he needed a job. So now we moved him into the farmer shop. And yeah, each one of these places has its own little Easter eggs and just like a bunch of different walkways and crazy stuff to explore. Eventually I'd like to really decorate the insides of these places, but if you know, you know. I'm an exterior guy. I can do exterior builds all day long, but as soon as it goes into an interior, that's where I gotta learn from. This is my original mending villager. For the longest time, he was stuck in the wall over by the chest room, and we decided he needed a real library to live in, so we moved him in there. And then after this place, I got super burnt out. This was like a big learning experience that I need to not like hard force singular projects for for weeks at a time. This whole build probably took me around 2 weeks to finish. And by the end of it, I did not want to touch this world, I'll be honest. And after that, I was just kind of in like a weird phase where I was playing very rarely. And I knew after this that I wanted to do a castle on the world. I didn't have the full city layout done, but I knew I wanted a castle. And I was putting off building that castle. And during that time of putting off building that castle, I decided to build this mine. I said, you know what? If you're going to build a castle, you're going to need a lot of resources. And where would you get these resources? From a mine, right? And we have this guy. This is Deezus here. All the villagers and tools and everything on my stream, these are all named by by people on my stream. So if you'd like to get something named, stop on by twitch.tv/quackbaby. Have a chance of getting your own named item or villager. But anyway, this was like one of my first times really decorating a mine, like trying to make something that's not only functional but that like looks pleasing. Typically I'm more of a dig straight down and strip mine kind of a guy. Along the way I found this zombie spawner, and I had the idea of having like a cleric down here where people could mine up zombie flesh and like sell it to the cleric for emeralds, and then buy the pickaxes they needed to mine. And I never got around to that. Maybe at some point we will again, but yeah, I never got around to that. So you come down here. This is a typical Y11 strip mine. I mean, you can technically find diamonds down here. This is mostly just for stone and for show. I got lucky and found an amethyst thing down there. That's where I get the majority of my amethyst. And then I do have plans eventually to expand this downwards into more of a real mine. Because it's not really effective mining at this Y level anymore, unfortunately. But we have the perfect opportunity to do so. And my favorite part about this mine is at the end here. Is there anything in this minecart? Look at that. Cobblestone. This connects straight back up to the entrance, right where you come out. This whole cave, this thing is a blessing and a curse. It looks incredible. Lighting it up was certainly fun. Didn't take forever whatsoever. But yeah, so that's the mine. This whole city just has like tons of walkways and different places. It would take so long to go over every single detail. Over here, temporary bee farm. That was not so temporary. Looks like that guy fell in the water. And then after that, I think we came over here and we built this smeltery building. And the whole like idea behind it, I wanted every build on this world to have kind of its own backstory. And what we settled on here was this was like the old smeltery, right? And it had some kind of accident. It exploded. So this side is like all blackstone and deep slate, and these weren't originally here. These are due to the Guardian Farm incident. But yeah, this side is pretty much where I get all my smelting done. It's not the most efficient thing. It's not a super smelter, but it gets the job done. After all of this side was pretty much complete, this whole side of town is pretty much done, other than the interiors. One of these days, we will get there. Moving on to this side of town. This side of town has pretty good backstory. This was all a pumpkin patch. I started my stream around October of 2022, and I said, you know what? We need a pumpkin patch for Halloween. Cleared out a bunch of trees in this area, laid down some pumpkins, and we did not return for another 2 or 3 months until I was finally done with all of that area, and I said, you know what? All right, guys, I'm gonna start working on the castle. So I came over here. I laid down these walls here. I laid down this tower, and this tower. Not these big ones yet, just this level. And I said, all right, this is the entrance to our castle. And yeah. And then I didn't play the game for another month. I was completely like burnt out until one day I said, you know what? We're gonna hop on and we're gonna build this wall. I don't remember what like inspired me to just build a giant wall, but I got on one day and I just started building, and we ended up with this wall here that connects all the way around, and that basically set like the expectation of what this city was going to be. Without this wall, there would be none of this. I figured if you're gonna have a castle, you need a town of people to build that castle, and they need a town hall. They need a place where they can come together, and that's what this building was. I came on one day. I just started laying out outlines, and I came up with this. Currently, this town hall, well, it has a very important job, I'd say. It if we come up in here, it holds my cactus farm. This building is a cactus farm. I'll be honest. It's not even a very efficient farm. It doesn't even have a collection system. It just plops cactus down. Yeah. Yeah. And don't worry though. This is not the the final use of this building. Eventually, it will be my trading hub. That's what all these stalls are laid out for. They're set up, ready to go. I just need to fill them with some villagers. And then, I don't know, I might keep this cactus farm around just for comedic effect. That's pretty much its only purpose. And after we did this building, This building isn't actually done, I'll be honest. It's not done. If we come over to this backside, the roof's all one color. It's missing the supports. We don't talk about we don't talk about this building. We don't talk about this side of town even. This side of town is under construction. That is my church. I'm doing air quotes. My church. Soon to come. Stick around. Twitch.tv/quackbaby. But yeah, then I decided the people need houses. They have shops, they have a town hall. They need homes to live in. And I came up with this block palette. I was even like doing research for this. I was watching videos about what medieval houses were made out of, like what kind of materials they had at the time, their construction methods, and I am really happy with how these came out. They're different from the typical style I would use. Before these builds, I'll be honest, I was a stripped log hater. I won't lie. I hated stripped logs. That's why that whole town over there is made out of normal logs. Before, I just never worked with stripped logs before. And this area really like opened my eyes to the possibilities that I could do. A lot of these even like connect up together. They have these balconies. When this place is done, it's gonna be like a really lively city. It's gonna take forever to explore every little detail. I want everywhere to be like a real explorable place. Anywhere you see, you should be able to go there. Is how I feel about having a Minecraft world like this. And everywhere should have a backstory. These insides, they need some work. I'll be honest, they need some work. But we're getting there. Slowly but surely. If you're wondering what these signs are, and these wonderful dirt homes, these are our viewers of mine who've been here like since the beginning, really. And I said, you know what? You guys can, the first like 50 people to be here, you can put your name on the first 50 houses. And this person requested a dirt home. Will this stay a dirt home? We'll see. The funny thing is, some of these are technically dirt homes. They're all made of mud, and there's even dirt in some of the roofs. They're not far off from dirt homes. Okay, in this area over here, this is where I first started experimenting with like kind of building out the world and making it feel more of like a lived-in place. Like, there are civilizations that came before our main city that we've been building. And this is just one of the examples of that. This is my like first attempt at making an example of that. Is this old, super weathered, broken down tower. I don't have a backstory for it yet. If you guys want to make backstories for any of the builds so far that don't have a backstory, linked on my Twitch is a Discord where you guys can write lore for builds. They could be builds that have already been built. It can be builds that you want to see built. If you write lore, it most likely will get incorporated into the world. So if you want to have your ideas put into this world, come on by. Write that, and I'll try to fit it in. Moving on to our next project, it's going to have to take us through the hub. This is our first project, like, outside of the main city. And, I always forget how to use this thing. This is the Nether Hub. We just built this thing not long ago. Also not finished. Common thread on the world. Or common trend, excuse me. It's not finished, but I felt it was kind of necessary to have on a world of this scale. Let's see. Oh wait, I have my overlays. Pop up this map. That's the goal eventually. That's all you get to know. So if we follow this unfinished path, here's a hint, another unfinished project. The Guardian Farm. I'd say the Guardian Farm was honestly like, it was kind of a game changer on my Twitch. As you can see, it's only like a fourth done. It's pretty much just a blank slate at this point to to build off of. But it was really a turning point in my like streaming, if you want to call it a career. Because around this time was when my Twitch started to pick up a little bit. I was getting more average viewers, and I finally was starting to hit like the right goals towards affiliate. And by the time we finished digging all this out, I had affiliate, and I was so happy with that. I'd been streaming for like 6 months and working towards it, and we finally got it. But then I got tired of working with water, and we had to leave the area. See, the thing about me is I can only work on one project for like a week at a time. And past that, if I force myself to work on a project longer than... Sir, can you stop? I'm trying to do a world tour here. If I work on a project for longer than a week at a time, I'm going to get burned out. And I'm not going to want to play the game anymore. So we kind of jump around. I would show like my end farms. They're not very interesting. I guess we could take a quick look. They're just super basic, like Enderman farm. Nothing too fancy in the end at the moment. I don't have the end dimension like planned out. I feel like I might switch up the theme completely in the end. Yeah, you see. Basic Enderman farm. I only come here to repair stuff. I mean, it gets the job done. What more could you ask? Perfect. The perfect Enderman farm. You could drop the balls. You're good to go. XP. You'll love it. Alright, here we are back in town. And that is because the next project that we did after the Guardian farm, we came back to town and I said, you know what? I'm tired of these empty pillars. At this point, I had these pillars built, but not the toppings or anything like that. They were just boring, straight pillars. And I was like, alright, let's figure out... Really? Are you guys trying to start a raid in the middle of my world tour? I was like, let's decorate this place. So I built up this first tower. The roof is one of the favorite things, my favorite things I've ever built in this game, period. The time it took to get this, like, this shape is absurd. You would not believe the amount of time it took to get this shape down. But after that, I was just so pleased with it. I would just stand over here. We'd put on the shaders. After every stream, we'd call it a shader check. And just see what we built for the day with the shaders on. And I was just so happy with this thing. Like, you could not believe how happy I was with this thing. And then I was like, you know what? I have this idea. I had planned out like a castle design before and like a walkway design. And I just completely like threw that out the window and decided, you know what if I do these like twin bridges that both connect to these towers, since we have these two towers here, and then they connect up as like a walkway for the royals to go on. And this one here would be your typical royal walkway. They can come out here, get a look of everywhere in town. And down here on this one, I had the idea of, since it's a little bit lower, it's gonna come in at a lower height than the other one, obviously. And this could be the area for the guards to come and armor up. This area I plan on turning into like some kind of armory. Basically, anyone who's not a royal is gonna take this service door up the top of that staircase, across that bridge into the armory. Secondly, anyone who's headed to the dungeon is going through this door, because you don't want to take the bad guys to the front door of the castle. This also brings us to this area. We have our beautiful little statue. Very basic, just a little guy, you know? He's got my elytra on, because I built this place. I felt like, you know, I'm always wearing my wings. Oops. Always wearing my wings. I need it in my statue. So I guess technically I'm the king. But yeah, my first like rendition of how I wanted this area to look was just like a super basic straight staircases. I don't know how to explain it. Just super boring and symmetrical. And I said, you know what, that's not really what I'm going for. The rest of this place is starting to feel a lot more like a giant, hyper, just over the top, like fantasy world. And I wanted that to kind of show in the walkways and stuff. And I think this pathway, this like crazy winding staircase, really helps to just like emphasize the natural landscape and make it feel just I don't even know. It's more of a feeling than a look. And it just happens that the feeling makes the look a lot better. You also get these nice like lookout spots. Check on the town in different places, which I love. I love building things for one, for silhouettes, and two, for views. Not like video views, but for the view of looking out. And then after that brings us to our last build. Closing in on day 1500, we built the new front gate. This has like completely revitalized my desire to play on this world. It's crazy how one build, you know, you can start to get burnt out a little bit, and one build can completely just bring you back. And that's what this front gate build did for me. So before we had this giant double gate tower over the top archway entrance to the city, we had basically that copied over here. And one day I was just looking over here, and the gate had always kind of been something that I just wasn't happy with. I debated moving it over there, but I'm so happy I kept it here. And yeah, this thing has completely revitalized my... I just realized I never finished that. Whoops. Anyway. Yeah, this thing is much more fitting for a city of this size, a city of this caliber. And then this walkway, which is going to lead out into all of our other cities. This is our capital city, but when it's done, we'll be moving on to a bunch of others. This world has builds to come for years to come, and I can't wait to do it, and hopefully see some of you guys along the way. But yeah, this is Quack Baby. 1500 days of hardcore Minecraft. Hope you enjoyed the tour. If you guys want to come come see me build it live, I'm live almost every single day at twitch.tv/quackedbaby. Alright. Goodbye, everyone. Peace out. Oh yeah, one last thing. I forgot, over here there is a slimy sewer. That's where I get my slime balls from, in case you were wondering. Okay. Bye-bye.